are some formats. So you have your live formats, which is your instructor-led or the classroom format, and the on-the-job training, which invariably happens with uh, you know uh, more experienced people taking on the job of mentoring and coaching those less experienced and bringing them up to speed. Then you have the various formats for a virtual collaboration, which could either be synchronous, which is something like what we are doing right now. We have a live session which is going on, and we're all in it, we're all attending at the same time. Or we could have virtual collaboration happening through an asynchronous mode, which is primarily through emails and bulletin boards, online communities of practice, where a lot of learning takes place. And then you have the self paced learning, like your e learning modules, online links, videos, and simulations that are posted on maybe your intranet or on your LMS. Then you have assessments, which are a very sizable part of e-learning because it's used very powerfully to gain our results. And then you have your digital workbooks. And as I mentioned earlier, the learning journey continues much long after the specific series of events have uh, been undergone. So you have your performance support and all of these help systems and databases, knowledge databases, and decision support tools, all of them available to support a learner, to help them reinforce their learning, and to make sure that they don't slide down the learning curve, and also to overcome the limitations of the forgetting curve that we saw earlier, where within a week half of what you learned is lost. So using all these formats, it's possible to come up with a blend that optimally supports the learners in their learning journey. So these are some of the assets that I just mentioned earlier. I think we're familiar with most of them: animations, GIFs, interactive resources, infographics, which are incidentally a very popular form because they just present uh, information and knowledge in the quickest possible form and in a combining a visual format with text. So this is a very popular form. Then you have simulations. You have your portals where you have a lot of knowledge documents and various kinds of resources. Ebooks are increasingly popular. Quizzes. I think all of us have listened to podcasts, so we don't have to be convinced about the utility of them. And mobile apps is something that is increasingly catching on, especially with, and surprisingly, although we would expect the younger workforce to be more comfortable with this, actually, our experience shows that almost any age group is equally comfortable with learning through the mobile and through mobile apps. So, and then you have flip books, which are digital books where you can just flip through and quickly go through a procedure or something. You have broadcasts. Games are an important and interesting strategy and an interesting format, especially when it comes to certain audiences. Then you have videos, digital flashcards, and process and concept maps, which again um, are an example of how you can just present information in a very concise way and using the visual medium for help. And you have animations, whiteboard animations, which is another very good asset. And of course, you have your blogs. So I would like you to just keep some of these assets in mind as we go through the rest of our webinar. And I would also request you to keep the learning process in mind, the various stages, so that you can see how and where some of these formats can be integrated into the learning process so that we come up with very learner centric blended solutions.